pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Klase sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Ruth St. Denis once said, "I see the dance being used as a means to express what is too deep, to find for words." Blessed Tuesday afternoon, our dear Jontastic learners. We are now into our fourth quarter, week 4. Today is a new day for new learnings and new adventures to venture here in the campus journalism for beginners. Yan. So, together with me, we are your tutors for today. Tutor Zen from SDO Agusan del Norte. Agusan del Sur, I'm sorry. And of course, yours truly, Tutor War from SDO Caloocan. Ayan. So, before we start our session today, let us read first some comments from our early birds. Ayan. Sir Eman, can we help me out po to flash the names po of those who came early? Hayan. Hello, Nerfitri Abutazir from Caloocan High School. Good afternoon. Good afternoon also to Marville Carrascal from Grade 10 Flores of Caloocan High School as well. Stephanie Mallory Santos Zion Manyabat. Good afternoon. Rainier Portoliano as well. Good afternoon. Simon De Castro, Edgar Toledana. Good afternoon from SDO Caloocan as well. So a lot of SDO Caloocan participants are here to join us into our session today. Also, hi to Rainiel Portoliano, good afternoon. Ayan. So for us to check if how our Jontastic learners today, can we utilize our chat box? Send us your heart emojis if you are feeling happy today. Kindly send us your happy emoji if you feel enthusiastic today, you feel excited onto our session today. And kindly send us your thumbs up emoji if you are feeling optimistic into our session today. Again, a heart emoji if you feel happy today, a happy emoji if you feel excited and enthusiastic into our session today, and a thumbs up emoji if you feel enthusiastic into our session today. Ayan, I can see na some emojis coming from our Jontastic learners from Stephanie. Thank you for your heart emoji. Rainiel as well. Hello, Mia Principe. Also, hi to Ma'am Principe of Caloocan High School. To Grace Cadwa also sent us a heart emoji. Angela May Coloma sent us her three happy faces for today. So she is really excited into our session today. As well as with Daryl Uy, he has sent us a happy emoji today. Ayan. So thank you mga mahal for your emojis today. We are feeling excited and enthusiastic as we proceed on to our session today. Also, hi to Roby Behera Serio, 10 SPJ, watching from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines Sur. Hello, Roby. Good afternoon. And so, as with all the teachers, students of SDO Camarines Sur. Hello, Draven as well. Ayan. So moving on to the next part of our session today, we are now done with 3 weeks and three topics for this quarter. We are done with editorial writing for the week one, column writing for week two, feature writing last week. We had worked on that. I guess everybody really had a great time rather, working and listening with the feature writing, which we had discussed last week. And today, we are now into the editorial cartooning. So I guess everybody also is really excited and enthusiastic as we move on to the next phase or next topic of this campus journalism. So just like what we have presented today, welcome to campus journalism for beginners. We will be working again. We will be working with editorial cartooning. Again, together with you today is our tutor Zen and tutor War. But before that, let me present to you our objectives on today's session. First, we need to define editorial cartoon. Next, identify the symbols used in that editorial cartooning and use the different symbols in their editorial cartoon. Okay, so these are the things that we need to accomplish onto today's session. Last week, ayan, we had an exciting activity about feature writings, and this was the activity left for you to do. And the jointastic task of last week is for you to make a short feature story about your life as a student during this pandemic in a form of 5 to 10 picture collage. You may use as many adjectives as you may as you present your collage. So of course, everybody most there are really plenty of um submission or activity submitted into the session last week, no, but only one really caught the attention of the judges. And to award who is our student journalist or journtastic learner for the week, let me present to you her work first. Ayan. So that you will have the idea who you are. And our jointastic learner for the week is no other than May Angela San Juan of 10 SPJ from Ocampo National High School. Congratulations, May, for a job well done. For that, you will be receiving a Nanay Junisha clap. Alam, Tutor War, how do we do the Nanay Junisha clap? It's easy. Just stop 3 claps, 3 stomp, and then very good, very good. Let's do it all together, everybody. 1, 2, 3, stomp. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good, very good. May Angela San Juan for your Good job. So let's give our congratulatory message to Angela. Angela, if you are here, I hope that you are with us today. Ayan. Now, moving forward to the next part of our lesson. Thank you, Leah, for your claps for Angela. Ayan. Today, we shall be introducing to you a new segment into our session. So we will be having our guest speakers who will give us short messages, inspirational messages about the importance of campus journalism. This session will be entitled Joinspirational Speaker of the Week. At this point, to start this segment of inspiration, let me introduce to you our first speaker for today. He is an Idol Kosi Teacher Grand Winner in the school year 2013-2014. He also named as one of the outstanding teacher in the division of Quezon City in the year 2011 to 2012. Quezon City Superintendent's Awardee from year 2007 to 2008. Second place, regional level NCR Most Outstanding Teacher in the year of 2008 to 2009. President of the YMCA Advisors Council of Quezon City. Whew, I'll be reading a lot of his achievements today, so please bear with me. He also is a vice president of the Philippine Association of Teachers, Administrators, Practitioners, and Educators, or PATAPE. He has been the English Coordinators Club of Quezon City president for 10 years. Could you imagine? 10 years. Gained courses on speech and grammar in Seattle, Washington in year 2012 to 2013. Certificate of English Language Specialist in the U.S. Embassy, Manila. Also, a writer in Patape Gazette, Volume 1, 2, 3, and editor-in-chief, where he worked and authored Saling Lahing Kayumanggi, English for Real Workbook, Grade 6 level, English for Real Teacher's Guide, Grade 6, and Filipino sa Bagong Henerasyon, Sanayang Aklat, Grade 3. Also, a program head and dean in the College of Saint Dominic Savio College. He is also a Pakua accreditor, a speaker lecturer, trainer, demonstration teacher, writer, and a true-blooded travel enthusiast. Friends, help me in welcoming. It is a privilege for me to present to you the Education Program Supervisor in English and Journalism in the SDO Caloocan. Help me in welcoming Dr. Christian J. Y. Ilagan. Doc CJ, good afternoon po.
Hi, good afternoon, my ever dearest Warlene. Can you hear me now?
Yes po, Doc. Loud and clear po.
Okay, I would like to say congratulations to this activity and at the same time, welcome to all of you, our learners from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And of course, I am so much privileged that you invited me in this activity of yours. Thank you very much, Ma'am Warlene.
Actually, Doc, it is a privilege po to have you in this session of ETUlay Campus Journalism. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Doc, can we ask po muna some questions so that our SPAs and of course the SDO from different regions can get something po from what the SDO Caloocan has been doing to promote and continue the mission and vision of journalism, lalo na po ngayon, Doc, no, in the times of pandemic. What the SDO Caloocan po has conducted particularly in journalism po?
Okay, Miss Warlino, before answering that, of course, I would like to greet our SDO Caloocan learners and teachers and supervisors. Hi to all of you. And of course, I would like to acknowledge our schools division superintendent, our leader, in the person of Dr. Nerissa Elosaya Seso 5, and of course, my ever-loving chief in the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Jocelyn M. Alinyam. So with this, let me answer your question. Okay, we in SDO Caloocan, we have established, different trainings to capacitate our learners and our SPAs at the same time using the online modality. This trainings basically focuses on this training basically or trainings focus on the editorial column writing, news writing, feature writing, editorial cartooning, radio script writing, and so the like, and a lot more. So we make our schools division office SPAs and our learners to be very busy. Of course, we adhere the online NSPC um, objectives that we need to anchor into the DepEd first ever virtual NSPC, wherein we need to provide relevant campus journalism skills amidst the pandemic. So we never stop from training our teachers and our learners, though there is this what we call pandemic, Ma'am Warlene. And you know that because you are the newly elected president of our journalism club. Thank you.
Thank you po, Doc. No? So, basically po, the SD of Caloocan really did not stop. No, Doc? Tama po ako, no? So,
Yes,
even if we are in the midst of pandemic, SDO really made a way po to let our students express themselves, express their crafts, no? To excel into the craft that they are in, particularly po in the use of campus journalism. So with that,
yes,
we
yes.
are really grateful po, no, to Dr. Ilagan, and of course to our SCID Chief, Dr. Jocelyn Alinyaban, of course, our SDS, Dr. Nerissa Losaria.
Well, of
Doc,
course, with the help of
apo,
Ma'am Sheila Molina, our
yes
EPS
po.
in Filipino, and Sir Tommy Rico, who will be the new focal person for journalism.
Ayan. So I guess po the EPS and the PSDS po of Caloocan are really not stopping po, no, to provide our learners with continuous improvement for them to become better individuals, not only on the academic fields po, Doc, no, especially po dito sa campus journalism.
Yes, aside from that, Ma'am Molino, we created the team of PSDSS and EPS in our division to take charge in all journalism activities. And to name a few, we have Dr. Cornelia, Dr. Alde, Ma'am Alamon, Ma'am Chelula Saka, and the rest.
Ayan. So thank you po. Talaga po ang SDO Caloocan ay hindi po talaga tumitigil, no, para
Yes,
mag-provide sa ating mga learners.
yes.
Doc, since we are talking about campus journalism, what advices po we can give our campus journalists, no, in regards po with fake news? We know for
Ah,
a fact, especially po, diba, Doc, no, the recently concluded election, there are a lot of news really bombarding our news feeds. How can you address po to, or what advice you can give to our campus journalists on how to balance or to know which is fake news and which is not?
you know what, Ma'am Warlino, we cannot stop the spread of, or the spreading of fake news. It's all around. It's anywhere. It's everywhere. No, what we first need to do is we need to be responsible viewers, listeners. Um, we need to be responsible by simply filtering all the things that we will be hearing or that we will be watching. Let us make a sound judgment as to whether knowing what is fake or not. So it's more on how we listen and deal with it. And you know what, Ma'am Warlino, another thing is that remember that fake news and this social media can make or break a person. Bear in mind that we don't want to be in their shoes if there's somebody who became or become a victim of fake news, right? So better yet, we need to be responsible. Responsible on the things that we need to absorb and we need to believe in. That's it.
Ayan.
And
So
for the
thank you po.
writers, of course, and for the writers, we need to adhere the journalistic creed, and of course, we need to be aware of the ethics of in journalism. That's why sooner or later we won't be facing ourselves, being filed with charges like libel or anything. So we need to be very careful in doing and writing news articles. That's it.
Yes, Doc. Thank you po. No, so we have to remind po. No, one thing that I have gotten from Dr. Ilagan's message po when it comes to fake news is we have to be responsible. Doc, we keep on repeating that to our journtastic learners, no, to our campus journalists, that we are responsible to every actions that we'll be making, whether it will be in a form of listening or in speaking, and most especially po, no, when it comes to writing. Do you agree with me po, Doc?
Yes.
Ayan. So, thank you po, Doc. Siguro po, Doc, no, we only have few minutes mo. Sana po we can have you in a much longer time po, pero we only given limited time.
Yeah.
Doc, opo, it's a
Hmm.
privilege to have you today. But before you leave us po, Doc, what message you can give our campus journalists po? Encouragement when it comes to be a responsible campus writer, be a responsible in this task or in this journey that they would like to enter to.
First, as writers and journalists, we need to be aware of our biases, and we need to look for the essential truths, and that is important. We need to follow the ethics. We need to be good in writing. Of course, let us be familiar with the latest trend right now, which is digital journalism skills. We need to have that. Of course, we need to be very responsible in using the social media. And lastly, be fair and square, and balance everything and be flexible. That would be all.
Thank you po, Dr. Ilagan, for gracing us in the first ever edition po of this segment, the Joinspirational Speaker of the Week.
Thank
We are
you.
really glad and privileged po, Doc, to have you here in behalf po of the ETUlay family, particularly po also with our program head, Tutor Nova. We are really privileged to have you po. Thank you po, Doc, for
Thank
your
you, Miss
time.
Wayne, Tutor War.
Thank you, Doc. God bless po.
Continue
Ingat
to
po
shine
kayo.
your Caloocan's pride. Congratulations.
Salamat po, Doc. Thank you po. Again, once again, our Jointastic learners, Dr. Christian J. Y. Ilagan, Education Program Supervisor in English and Journalism in SDO Caloocan. Thank you very much po, Doc
Thank
Ilagan.
you. Thank you.
Ayan. So moving forward on this part of our session, ayan. So thank you po. It is really a privilege to have Dr. Ilagan into today's session. Kayo po. Ayan. So moving forward into our session, since Dr. Ilagan has mentioned about essential truth, you have to follow ethics, you have to be fair and square, onto this activity that we are about to make, we shall be able to identify first the description that best illustrates the symbols that I'll be asking you or I'll be flashing into our screen. And you just have to type in into our chat box your response. Okay, so you have to type in number one, then your letter of your best answer, or number two, and then the best answer. Ayan. So thank you po. Ayan. So at this point, we may now be utilize our chat box. Ayan. So number one, this is kind of salakot. This is what we call salakot. No? This is what we use in the head. Okay, sa mga magsasaka. What does a salakot symbolize? Is it A, freedom, peace, and democracy? Letter B, ordinary Filipino citizen? Letter C, freedom of press. Type in your answer into our chat box. Number one, then the letter of your response. Okay, so let us see. The answer of Andre Armas is B. Fatal Lorcon says B. Dwayne says B. Okay. Hi to Ma'am Pia Tumagan from Santa Rosa, Laguna, SDO Santa Rosa, Laguna. Hello po, Ma'am Pia. Thank you for gracing us today. James Howard says it's number one, letter B. Let's see. If what does a salakot symbolize? Yes, indeed. That is letter B. It symbolizes an ordinary Filipino citizen. Ayan. So we have now understood. No. Now, question number two or picture number two. What does the dove symbolize? Number two, just type in number two, then the letter of your response. Is it A, freedom, peace, democracy? Letter B, freedom of the press? Or letter C, towards success and development. Ayan, according to John, Andre, Judy, number 2, it's A. To Dwayne, ayan, thank you for your participation, mga anak. I'm so happy. And I guess, no, you are really inspired with Dr. Ilagan's presence a while ago. That's why you are so really enthusiastic into today's session. Let's see if this is the correct answer. Okay, so letter A is the most appropriate answer. Dove symbolizes freedom, peace, and democracy. Now, number 3 picture. Pencil or pen. What does it symbolize? Is it letter A, justice? Letter B, freedom of press? Or letter C, towards success and development? What do you think? Number 3 and the letter of your correct answer. Is it A, justice, B, freedom of press, or C, towards success and development? Ayan, so many answers na. Hello, BJ Porador from Linsanga National High School. Anis Lagan, rather. Sorry. So, John, Angela says it's letter C. Michael C. Johnam says B. Edgar says C. Angela C. Judy C. Let's see if it is C, which is the correct answer. Okay, it's more of letter B. The pen and the pencil may symbolize freedom of the press. Fourth picture, mallet. This is a mallet. No, this is what a judge used in his courtroom. Is it A, towards success and development? Letter B, tough situation? Or letter C, justice? What does the mallet symbolize? Shikanaya says C. Andre says C. Janice C. Dwayne says C. Denise rather says C. Ayan, Faith says C. Let's see if it is C. The correct answer is letter C. So a mallet symbolizes a justice. Okay. Fifth picture. This is a rock. Number 5. Type in the number 5 and then the letter of your response. What does it symbolize? Danger, tough situation, or wealth? What does this rock symbolize? Letter says 5. Irene says B5. Faith says B. Sophia and Russell says B as well. Ayan, so B. Patricia says it's B. Let's see. It is the B, which makes you correct. Okay, that's correct. B is indeed the correct answer. Now, let's now have the last picture. Picture number 6. This is a gold. Gold. Ayan. What does a gold symbolize? Is it hope? Is it B, development and progress? Or is it C, wealth? Which do you think would symbolize or meaning of gold? No. So, pwedeng pumasok dito tinatawag natin connotation and denotation. Okay? Okay, so Mark says C. John Raver says B. Rice says C. Chris Jane says it's C. Let's see again if it is letter C. Okay, so basically that is letter C. So gold symbolizes wealth, no? Power can also be part of it. Now, what's the connection of these pictures into our session today? Actually, it plays a lot. Okay, so before that, let me just greet you a good job for your answers and your activity or active participation onto today's discussion. So again, going back, what do you think this picture is trying to tell us? So it plays a vital role basically when we do editorial cartooning or editorial cartooning. So how does editorial cartooning differ from an ordinary cartooning that we know? How is this editorial cartooning differ from the manga or the anime that we know? So let's now move on to the definition of editorial cartooning. Okay, so an editorial in a pictorial form aims to illustrate the stand of the newspaper on a timely issue through an informal drawing. So again, so it's like an editorial article, but this one is in a form of picture, which also make a stand of the newspaper on a particular topic or at a particular issue. Okay? So parang inano lang natin siya. In short, what is the editorial article about, maybe the editorial cartoon would also be like. Okay? But not necessarily mean kung ano yung pinaka-main editorial article, yun agad yung magiging editorial cartoon. Kasi there are some newspapers, particularly itong mga ano no, standard newspapers natin ngayon, sometimes what the main editorial writing would be or article would be, is not the same as with the editorial cartoon. But there will be still some who will use the editorial cartoon as the representation or visual representation of the editorial article. Okay, so I hope that you are getting me there. Now, editorial cartoon supplements the editorial comments and interpretation through the use of effective and universal symbols to reach out and influence public. We know for a fact that everybody is really good when it comes to reading words. Some are really good when it comes to picture analysis. So that's why there is this editorial cartoon which would help the readers supplement their understanding or supplement their information on the editorial article that has been presented by the newspaper. Ay, yun yung isang reason why editorial cartoon is existing. Plus, of course, it uses symbols to influence and to reach public. Okay? So later on, we will understand more what editorial cartoon is all about. Ayan. So these are some of the qualities of an effective editorial cartooning. One, it deals with a single idea. An editorial cartoon must only work and focus on one topic. Halimbawa, the topic that you would like to express or the newspaper that you would like to expound, no, the topic that you would like to expound is about abortion. Dapat yung editorial cartoon mo would only be based on abortion. Hindi mo siya pwedeng pasukan dapat ng poverty. Hindi mo siya papasukan ng malnutrition. Single idea lang must be presented in an editorial cartoon. Next, it is humorous. Why an editorial cartooning is considered as humorous? Because of the use of what we call exaggeration. Sometimes we exaggerate things, we exaggerate the picture, the illustration of a certain people or certain symbol. Or for example, we know for a fact some of you, most of you, all of us have seen an editorial cartoon. Like for instance, President Duterte. What is the prominent feature of President Duterte? Basically, it's the nose. Ayan, ganyan talaga mga Bisaya, iisa lang hulmahan namin. So, so with that, yung mga editorial cartoonists, this is the prominent feature and this is mas nakikilala si President Duterte dito. So the exaggeration is on the nose, the feature of the nose. And of course, yung ano niya, facial features pa niya. Okay? So sometimes naman, during the time of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, when it comes to his features, no, yung mukha niya, yung physical appearance niya, it's more the prominent feature of her face is the teeth. So most of the editorial cartoon would symbolize or would exaggerate doon sa haba ng teeth niya. So that's why it's some kind of humorous. But then again, ano kasi, the editorial cartooning would let the students not really much on the critical thinking. Pabalik tayo dun sa konsepto ng feature writing. That's more of the entertainment. No? It's time to relax. It's just like seeing a cartoon, basically. Next, it exerts influence on the reader. So just like with the editorial article itself, the editorial cartoon would try to influence the reader to go to their stand on a certain issue. Okay? Inaaya niya yung mga tao na maniwala doon sa stand nila. So if they think, no, halimbawa, the topic is about ngayon ay election. So most of the editorial cartoon would talk about election. So dapat may influencing factor yon. Ito na pala yung nangyayari ngayon. Ito pala yung naging problema during the election, so on and so forth. Next, it is realistic. So just like with editorial article, the topic that you will be working here, the things that you will draw into your editorial cartoon, no, though it would use exaggeration and symbols, it must be realistic. Dapat totoo. Ito yung nangyayari. This is the reality of life. This is what is our point of view. This is how we see things. This is what we would want the paper or the readers would love to understand or to read onto our work. So yun siya. That's why it must be realistic. Next one, it entertains the reader. Okay? It must be able to, again, just like with feature writing, it must only entertain the readers. Hindi mo na pag-iisipin yung mga readers mo. Ano ba to? Ano ba yan? Bakit may kaliwa? Bakit may kanan? It shouldn't be too much decoration. Hindi to kagaya ng mga project natin sa school that you need to put more, ano pa, may mga lining pa, lalagyan mo pa ng mga bulaklak-bulaklak. Editorial writing is not that. No? You must be able to see. Parang ikaw, kagaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, with President Duterte. Pag nakita mo yung mukha niya, ay, bakit ganun? Ay, si President Duterte to. Kasi nga, in-exaggerate yung features ng mukha niya. In-exaggerate yung, ano niya, yung muscle niya, for instance. So, ganun siya. So, it entertains. Hindi masyado sa critical thinking. Babalik tayo sa konsepto ng mga cartoons. It makes us relax. Yun lang. I-relax niya lang tayo. But at the same time, trying to persuade us to believe on what the paper is trying to stand to. Okay? Ayan. So these are basically the basic qualities. And now, what are the basic tips for those who want to indulge themselves into editorial cartooning? These are the things that you need to work on. Kasi ako, si Tutor War, magaling na ako sa idea. This is my Waterloo. I'm not really good into sketching. I'm not really into this one. But when it comes to idea on how am I going to teach or ask my students or my campus journalists to draw their idea, nabibigay ko. But then again, when I put it into drawings na, naku, maliligwak tayo, hindi tayo mananalo. Pag si tutor war, pag susulatin nyo, pag drawingin nyo. So, these are the basic tips. First, use blank ink pen on white paper. So, basically, when we are in the press conference, we are using yung Oslo paper. Ayan. So, in school press cons, the official drawing material is Mongol number 2. Ma'am, are we allowed to use ball pens? There will be some siguro that they will be allowing the participants to use ball pen for for shading or for yung pagbibigay ng weight doon sa certain issues or the certain symbols, pinapayagan. But alam ko most of the time Mongol number 2 lang talaga. Okay, pencil lang tayo. Next, employ single stroke or line. Ayan. So basically, when you do drawings, I do not know. I'm not pretty sure when it comes to stroke and lines, Pero what I basically see into my students, kapag sobra yung diin ng gawa nila, tapos paiba-iba yung stroke ng gawa nila, makikita mo yung quality nawawala. So, halimbawa, if you think na mas maganda, you will be working with like mga ganito, mga inches, mga 3 inches lang na line. So, stroke mo hanggang 3 inches hanggang matapos to where you would like to stop. Kasi if you will be doing on the first half, hanggang 1.5, then susunod mo mahaba, mawawala ng yun, yung ganda. Okay? So, yun yung one of the things that we are teaching our our campus journalists to avoid to yung masyadong madiin, masyadong mabigat, masyadong pagalaw-galaw yung galaw ng lapis nila. Though we know that they are artistically inclined, may kanya-kanya silang style. But then again, mas magiging maganda if smooth lang, maayos lang, isang direction lang yung pupuntahan. Next one, shading can be for emphasis. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, When it comes to ball pen, so some are allowing to use ball pens for to give emphasis into a certain symbol and stuff. Again, we will go back to the number 1 qualities a while ago. Focus only on one topic. Again, if your topic is about campus journalism, just focus on the campus journalism. If the topic is about student during pandemic, just focus on students during pandemic. Wala na kayong ibang ilalagay doon. Yun lang. Now, limit the use of words and labels. Now, with campus or with editorial cartooning, it's not like your typical picture illustration that you don't know. Especially kapag nagpo-photojourn ka, hindi to yung caption part. With editorial cartooning, we limit the words, no? We limit. Hanggat maaari nga lang yan, dalawa, tatlong words lang ang makikita dyan. Okay? Just to give your audience see or to give the audience a background kung sino ba yung tinutukoy mo doon. Ano ba yung picture mo na yon? Baka nga mamaya kasi sa sobrang exaggeration, hindi na nila nakilala. So, the words can help your readers to identify kung ano talaga yung para saan o sino yung dinrawing mo na yun. So, again, but still, it is limited. Hanggat maaari. Now, if you will see if you will see an editorial cartoon, ma'am, okay lang ba na walang words? Okay lang. Walang kaso yun. Okay? Next, use common symbols. So the pictures that I have presented during the start of our discussion, during the activity, are the common symbols that are used in editorial cartooning. Ay, the salakot represents Filipino people. The mallet would just symbolize justice. Ayan, yung dove, yung peace, gamit na gamit yan. So, use the common symbols. Ma'am, pwede ba lumabas? Make sure na kung lalabas ka doon sa alam na ng karamihan, ay maiintindihan nila. Diba? Mahirap lumabas kung kailangan mo pang i-explain sa kanila, ay ma'am, nilagay ko po yung manok kasi po alam ko malaya po sila. Paano siya naging malaya? So, dapat yun, doon pa lang sa picture, hindi na natin pag-uusapan kung ano yung ibig sabihin nung nilagay mo na manok. O ba't mo papahirapan yung sarili mo? You go now and draw dove instead of the chicken. Okay, so that's the basic thing that we need to remember. Next, make it simple, but the message is still clear and intact. Hindi na kailangan na maraming palamuti. Just like what I have mentioned a while ago. Limit things to be drawn from 3 to 5 illustrate ideas. So, ma'am, kailangan ba maraming symbols doon? Hindi naman. Hanggat maaaring 3 to 5 illustrate ideas lang. O halimbawa, President Duterte lang. O halimbawa, gusto mo yung ano lang, economic. O, that would symbolize, ay pwede ka mag-symbolize ng money. O yun lang, hawak niya. Simple as that. If that is what your idea is all about, if that is what you would like your audience to understand about economic problem or economic improvement or development, pwede nyo ilagay mo. Okay? Now, so let me just present to you a sample of score sheet for editorial cartooning being used in the National Secondary Press Conference 2022. So this is how the score sheet has been presented. So technicality-wise, 30%, content will be 60%, and ethics is 10% with a total of 100%. Okay, so what does technicality would contain? So it makes use of a minimum number of labels. So you can see, no, minimum number of labels. Show logical use of various symbols, dimensions, and proportions of images. Now, when it comes to content, is it clear? Is it specific? Is it recognizable? Ayan, yung mga paggamit ng symbol. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Now, when it comes to ethics, hindi ba siya kinopya doon sa dati? Okay, ano ba to? Hango ba to? Is it original? Syempre, of course, no, during contest, you are not allowed to copy other people's work. You will be subjected to copyright issues. Okay? So aside from what we have used, no, a while ago with the symbols that we have used, there are also some symbols that can be used to in an editorial cartoon, no? Like for example, a skull with crossbones. Oh, ayun yung may nakaganon. It would symbolize death, danger. Rising sun would also symbolize hope. Ayan, the sun that I have here on top. Bigla nagkaroon ako ng sun. And of course, the key towards success and development. So you can use these symbols to add colors, you know, if you would like to translate your ideas into pictures. Another one, no, the high-rising building would also mean development and progress. Mask, deceiver. Ayan. And of course, big waves would also connote hindrances and adversities. Okay, so I hope that you have gotten the idea of what editorial cartooning is all about. But before that, let me leave you with your Jontastic task for this week. So based on the picture that you have presented here, this is a sample from businessmirror.com.ph. This is the this is the camp ano to cartooning. Okay, so we have here limited, ano lang, no? You can see limited labels lang. So this syringe would symbolize that this is Pfizer. And then, of course, this symbol is the corona virus. So write a 5-sentence analysis on how you understand the message that the illustration is trying to convey. As simple as that. Okay? So again, write a 5-sentence analysis on how you understand the message that the illustration is trying to convey. And that's it for me for Campus Journalism for Beginners, Editorial Cartooning. And our reference for today is from Campus Journalism in the New Generation from Jelly Elio El Cunyo in the 2011 edition. Again, our dear Jontastic learners, let me remind you that we are now already in week 4, May 23 to 27. We still have 4 weeks to go, so please hang in there. Samahan nyo kami as we reach week 8 on June 20 to 24. Ayan, so together with me, please do not forget to join into the e-teatro class. Okay, so together with me, Tutor Zen, and of course our program head, Tutor Nova. This has been Tutor War, always reminding you to be happy and don't forget to smile. Always be a blessing to everyone. Thank you, our dear Jontastic learners. I had a good time listening to your participation and being so enthusiastic into today's session. See you next week. Take care and God bless.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!